Recap. Alchemy Emperor of the Divine Dao, Chapter 1049, Chapter. The winds of fate had turned, and after a full day's passage, the long-awaited clash between Ling Han and Wu Xiren finally arrived. A battle destined to stir the hearts of countless cultivators and shake the very air within the Iron Blood Stadium. This was no ordinary arena. The Iron Blood Stadium was a place where life and death held no weight in the eyes of the law. Once one stepped into its grounds, mercy became a forgotten concept. Blood could flow freely, and even if one perished beneath another's blade, no one would be held accountable. Such was the ruthless rule that governed this battlefield, a crucible where only strength decided survival. On this day, the stadium was packed beyond imagination. Every seat had long since been claimed, and yet still, waves of people flooded in, craning their necks, standing on tiptoe and pressing against one another just to catch a glimpse of the coming duel. Normally, the Iron Blood Stadium never sold standing tickets, but today was different. The frenzy surrounding this battle had driven ticket prices into the heavens, reaching an astonishing resale value of 50 true origin stones per entry. Even so, the demand remained insatiable. People fought and scrambled, unwilling to miss even a moment of this confrontation. Accompanying Ling Han into the sea of humanity was Shui Yanyu. The moment she stepped inside, her delicate brows lifted in astonishment. Though she had visited this stadium before, she had never witnessed such a suffocating crowd. The entire venue was so densely packed that it seemed not even a single needle could find space to fall. Fortunately, Ling Han's status as one of the combatants granted him a different path. Representatives of the stadium were already waiting for him, and without delay, they guided him and Shui Yanyu through a private passageway, bypassing the chaotic crowd and entering the inner areas of the arena with ease. There was still time before the battle commenced. Ling Han was given a moment to rest, a fleeting calm before the storm. Shui Yanyu turned to him, her expression tinged with concern. "Is that Wu Xiren, truly an assassin from the Dark Night Hall?" she asked. This revelation had only just reached her ears. Ling Han gave a slight nod, his voice steady. "Almost certainly." A frown creased Shui Yanyu's forehead as her thoughts raced. "The Dark Night Hall has already sent 2 waves of assassins after you. Even Zhou Gaoyang and Yin Yuanxiang, both at the consummate level of the Mountain River tier, failed to kill you. Although you didn't personally defeat them, the Dark Night Hall doesn't know that. In their eyes, your strength must be even greater than it truly is." Her gaze sharpened as she continued, her reasoning clear and precise. "Given that, the assassin they've sent this time, Wu Xiren, must be even stronger than those 2. His battle prowess is definitely above Zhou Gaoyang and Yin Yuanxiang." Her analysis was flawless. The Dark Night Hall was no foolish organization. They were assassins, calculating, precise, and deadly. There was no reason for them to send someone weaker than their target. Ling Han nodded in agreement, yet a faint spark flickered in his eyes. "That's exactly why I'm curious," he said. "He's at the same cultivation level as me, so just how powerful can he become when he unleashes his full strength?" Hearing this, Shui Yanyu's emotions surged. Her voice rose slightly, laced with frustration. "You're ignoring the danger just to satisfy your curiosity? Have you ever thought about how I feel? Do you know how worried I am?" Ling Han's expression softened. Without any teasing or mischief, he gently drew her into his arms, a rare moment of pure sincerity. "Don't worry," he murmured. "I'll be fine." Shu Yanyu could only sigh, her heart both comforted and troubled. She reached out to straighten his collar, her fingers lingering for a brief moment. "Be careful," she said softly. "I will," Ling Han replied, his tone turning serious, yet the very next moment his usual shameless grin returned. "Go home and prepare yourself. Wait for your husband to come back and love you." Surprisingly, Shui Yanyu did not scold him this time. Instead, she leaned into his embrace, her voice low. "Damn pervert, I know you're strong. Stronger than most people your age, but the world is vast and dangers are everywhere. You mustn't become arrogant." Ling Han lightly patted her slender shoulders. At that moment, a familiar voice rang out. "Blockhead, it's time for you to enter the..." "Huh?" Li Weiwei rushed over, only to freeze mid-step. Instantly, she covered her eyes with both hands. "Aya! My eyes!" Ling Han chuckled. "What's wrong with your eyes?" Then he turned back to Shui Yanyu. his voice softening once more. I'm going. I'll wait for you, she replied. With a nod, Ling Han turned and strode toward the arena, his figure gradually disappearing into the depths of the battlefield. Li Weiwei hurried over to Shui Yanyu, lowering her voice conspiratorially. Sister Shui, did you really fall for that blockhead? Though her cheeks flushed faintly, Shui Yanyu still nodded. Li Weiwei's eyes widened in disbelief. What had begun as playful teasing had somehow blossomed into reality. Now anxiety crept into her heart. But he's just an emperor from a small world, she said. Even if that sounds impressive, he doesn't have a real background. Will your family accept this? Shui Yanyu fell silent for a moment. Ling Han's talent was undeniable, his future brilliance almost certain. Yet the question remained, could the Shui clan afford to wait for that future? Zhao Lun would not relinquish his pursuit easily. If his patience wore thin and hostility emerged, how would her clan respond? We'll see how it goes, she said at last, her tone reluctant. Li Weiwei tugged at her arm. Come on, let's go watch how that blockhead beats Wu Ziren. The two women took a different route from Ling Han. Leveraging their connection with the left minister, they entered the VIP stands of the Iron Blood Stadium, an elevated position offering a perfect view of the battlefield below. Seated within were several familiar figures, Zhao Lun and Sha Yuan. Yanyu, long time no see, Zhao Lun greeted, his voice smooth and composed. His jade-like features remained as refined as ever, his smile charming and effortless. Yet now, having stepped into the Sun Moon tier, his presence had transformed. His aura surged like a blazing sun, exuding an oppressive majesty that made others instinctively revere him as though he were a divine being. To reach the Sun Moon tier before the age of 1000, such an achievement was extraordinary even within the chaotic star's majestic empire. Looking back through history, only Shu Ran from 30,000 years ago had surpassed such brilliance. Zhao Lun had every reason to be proud. A faint trace of disgust flickered across Shui Yanyu's face, yet she still performed a respectful curtsy. My respects to Herr Zhao. As the sole son of great General Zhao, and now a titled Sun Moon tier elite whose name was engraved upon the Empire's totem, Zhao Lun commanded formal respect from all, yet this very formality grated against him. The more distant Shu Yanyu behaved, the more it felt like a blade carving space between them. Suppressing his irritation, he forced a smile. Yanyu, who do you think will win today? Before she could answer, he spoke again, confidence dripping from every word. I believe Wu Ziren will win. In fact, I've wagered 100,000 true origin stones on his victory. I bet that he'll defeat Ling Han within 10 exchanges. Oh? Sha Yuan chuckled. You're that confident? Zhao Lun's smile widened, though beneath it lingered a trace of frustration. He had wanted to bet even more, but after paying a hefty sum to the Dark Knight Hall, his finances had grown tight. The 100,000 true origin stones he wagered had actually been borrowed from his followers, though in truth, it bordered on extortion. The thought irritated him. As the son of a great general, he had been forced to squeeze money from his own subordinates. What humiliation! But it didn't matter. Victory was certain. Once Wu Ziren killed Ling Han, Zhao Lun would reclaim his wealth and his dignity. Naturally, he declared. Ling Han is nothing more than an ant from a small world. What powerful trump cards could he possibly possess? He stands no chance against Wu Ziren. At these words, several people nearby exchanged peculiar glances. Li Weiwei, however, did not hold back. Zhao Lun, have you already forgotten how Ling Han beat you half a year ago? Your wounds have healed, so you've forgotten the pain? Zhao Lun's fists clenched involuntarily, veins bulged across his forehead, and his aura surged violently, manifesting as phantom blades and spears capable of annihilating any mountain river tier cultivator. Before tensions could escalate further, Yang Luodong interjected with a cold laugh. That was only because Brother Zhao's cultivation was suppressed. It was never a fair fight. That ant forced him down to the same lowly level. How could Brother Zhao display his true strength? Her eyes gleamed with disdain. If that ant ever reaches Brother Zhao's level, he won't even last a single exchange. She continued, her voice rising with admiration. In any case, Brother Zhao has already entered the Sun Moon tier before the age of 1000. Even across the entire history of our majestic empire, such an achievement is rare. he can be considered the #1 prodigy past 100,000 years. Her words rang through the VIP stand, filled with pride and unwavering conviction as the storm of battle drew ever closer. In the vast currents of the cultivation world, where strength reigned supreme and mercy was but a fleeting illusion, whispers of ambition and hidden schemes intertwined like serpents beneath still water. Yang Luodan's words, though laced with honeyed flattery, were not entirely hollow. Her praise carried truth within it. Zhao Lun's ascent to the sun-moon tier at such a young age was no ordinary feat. It was a miracle carved from both talent and sacrifice, a rare brilliance that few in the realm could rival. Yet behind that brilliance lay a story written in blood. For Zhao Lun's rise had not come without cost. His father, the mighty great General Zhao, had borne grievous wounds to pave the path forward for his son. These were not injuries that could be soothed with a handful of pills or a brief retreat into meditation. No. Such wounds demanded centuries, even millennia, of silent recovery, like scars etched into the very flow of time itself. And yet, even such sacrifice was not enough to explain Zhao Lun's brilliance. Among the 7 great generals, among the towering figures of the left and right ministers, none had nurtured a descendant as dazzling as Zhao Lun. In the end, it was his own innate talent that stood above all else, like a blazing sun that refused to be dimmed. These thoughts surged through Zhao Lun's mind like a tide of clarity. In that instant, his agitation faded. That's right, he mused inwardly, his confidence returning like a mountain regaining its immovable stance. My strength has always surpassed Ling Han's. Why should I let an ant linger in my thoughts? In the world of cultivation, fairness had never existed. Only power spoke. Only power decided fate. With that realization, Zhao Lun's gaze steadied, and his voice regained its calm authority. Yanyu, he said, his tone smooth yet resolute, once this battle concludes, I will formally propose our marriage to the Shui clan. He had given her enough freedom. Now, having stepped into the sun-moon tier, he no longer saw any reason to wait. The beauty before him, captivating and elusive, would become his. But Shui Yanyu's response was like a blade drawn without hesitation. Herr Zhao, she said coldly, her voice unwavering, do not forget, I am already part of the Ling family. I will never marry a second husband. Do not trouble me again. Zhao Lun's lips curled into a chilling smile. What meaning is there? He replied, voice laced with frost and clinging to a dead man. The air grew tense. Before the moment could spiral further, Li Weiwei stepped in, her hand gripping Shu Yanyu's arm as she pulled her away. Ignore him. Let's go. The two moved off, putting distance between themselves and Zhao Lun, settling into a quieter corner as though seeking refuge from a storm. Meanwhile, Yang Luodan approached Zhao Lun with a gentle tug on his arm. Brother Zhao, let's sit as well. But Zhao Lun's reaction was sharp and dismissive. With a cold snort, he shook off her hand, casting her aside as though she were nothing more than an afterthought. Without another glance, he seated himself alone. That single gesture pierced Yang Luodan's heart like a hidden dagger. Jealousy flickered in her eyes. She knew, if she were Shui Yanyu, Zhao Lun would bend himself in every way to please her. He would not wear that cold expression, nor treat her with such indifference. Anger burned within her. Yet she swallowed it, burying her emotions beneath a composed exterior. In her heart, however, a darker thought took root. Once Ling Han dies, she pondered silently, all suspicion will fall upon Shui Yanyu. When that happens, how will she escape? After all, Ling Han was not alone in this world. The Ninth King himself shared a close bond with him. And when such a figure became involved, even the powerful Shui clan would find it difficult to shield her. A quiet storm was already forming. Elsewhere within the arena, the air trembled with anticipation. Ling Han stood calmly, his presence like a still lake that concealed unfathomable depths. Across from him stood Wu Ziren, a man whose appearance betrayed nothing of his true power. He looked utterly ordinary. Around 30 years of age, neither tall nor particularly strong, with disheveled hair and eyes that seemed devoid of spirit, he could have passed for a wandering drifter lost in the world. And yet, those who had witnessed his battles knew the truth. This unremarkable man was a monster among his peers. Though his cultivation rested only at the late stage of the medium extreme, he had crushed opponents who stood at the peak of the high extreme. His battle prowess surpassed 5 stars, an achievement so astonishing it defied common sense. Even the 7 generals and the left and right ministers could only reach such heights by drawing upon the power of an entire nation. But Wu Ziren needed no such aid. He stood alone. In recent days, countless factions had extended invitations to him, seeking to draw him into their ranks. The attention he garnered rivaled even that of Ling Han himself. Yet Wu Ziren had remained silent, revealing no allegiance. Now, as the two faced each other, Ling Han raised a hand with calm courtesy. "Please," he said. Wu Ziren's expression hardened, resolve flashing across his otherwise lifeless face. He had received an order. Within 10 moves to eliminate the opponent before him. But such power came at a price. His life. "Please," he replied hoarsely. Then the sound of bones cracking echoed through the arena as Wu Ziren twisted his neck. His body began to expand, muscles swelling as though infused with an unnatural force. From within him, threads of black aura seeped outward. Moments ago, he had seemed ordinary. Now he resembled something far more sinister, like a being stepping onto the path of the demonic Dao. Boom! His aura exploded. What had once been the late stage of the medium extreme surged upward with terrifying speed, blasting past the high extreme, then the consummate level. And still, it did not stop. Gasps erupted from the crowd. How is that possible? Wasn't he only at the medium extreme? Even if he were breaking through, heavenly tribulation should descend. This isn't normal growth, it's something else. What kind of secret technique allows such a leap? 2 minor levels, and beyond 9 stars? No, this isn't just 9 stars. That aura, it's approaching the pseudo-sun-moon tier. 10 stars, perhaps even 11. Impossible. Such geniuses shouldn't exist. Voices rose in disbelief, some clinging to reason, others shaken by what defied it. Amidst the chaos, a group of sun-moon tier elites observed in silence. One elder, who had remained quiet until now, suddenly stiffened. His expression shifted into one of profound shock. "Demonic Qi!" he exclaimed. The others turned to him, their expressions filled with curiosity and respect. "Elder An, what is demonic Qi?" This elder, An, was no ordinary figure. A consummate-level sun-moon tier elite, he stood among the highest echelons of the majestic empire. Only the 7 generals, the 9 kings, the left and right ministers, and the empress herself surpassed him. Moreover, he had lived long and seen much. Rather than answering directly, he posed a question. "You all know," he began slowly, "that beyond our mortal realm there exists another, called the Netherworld." The surrounding elites nodded. They had heard tales of fragile points between realms on distant planets where passageways formed. In those places, cultivators from both realms clashed in brutal, unending war. The joint peace planet, by fortune, possessed no such passage. Otherwise, its people would have no time for internal strife. All their strength would be devoted to resisting the Netherworld. Elder An's gaze returned to Wu Ziren. "That black aura," he said gravely, "is demonic Qi." His voice carried certainty. "In my youth, I fought on the 2-realm battlefield. I have seen this energy countless times. I know it well." Shock rippled through the group. "A cultivator of the Netherworld. Here? Does that mean a passage exists on this planet?" Elder An shook his head. "No, he is likely still of the immortal realm, but demonic Qi has been sealed within him." His brows furrowed, confusion evident. "This is strange. On the battlefield, many attempted to study demonic Qi, but those who tried to absorb it all died. The laws of the Netherworld and the immortal realm oppose one another. They cannot coexist." The mystery deepened. "Should we stop the battle?" someone asked. Another shook their head immediately. "The Iron Blood Stadium seals the battlefield once a match begins. Even peak Sun-Moon tier elites require time to break it. Only Heavenly Body tier experts could do so swiftly. But this was merely a clash between Mountain River tier cultivators. No Heavenly Body tier expert would intervene." Suddenly, Elder An's eyes lit up with realization. "That's it!" He rose to his feet. "I don't know how he achieved it," he said, voice heavy with gravity, "but he is using the conflict between demonic Qi and his own body to forcibly elevate his battle prowess." He paused. "And the price for such power," his expression darkened, "will be beyond imagination."